Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praise, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachah Kodash. The honors to my teachers, the head apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, Kazak Shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Lagash. Lord willing, back with another edifying lesson. Real quick, this lesson is based on the TikTok that I saw. I'm going to read the precept, then let the TikTok play. This is Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, with the Lord shall lead thee. This is how we know that the curses are prophetic, because this happened, when we were here in America and all the places we were scattered, and pursuing Ezekiel 37, we bring it all the time. We received the the water, us being the dry bones. And now we realize, hey, I'm not Mexican, I would be Issachar. Well, hey, I'm a Negro, a nigga, I would be from the tribe of Judah. But these different terms placed on us by our oppressors are bywords. And those proverbs are those sayings like, don't trust them niggas over there. Inside joke. Or it's like the Mexicans. Certain stigmas that come with being Hispanic. Those would be the proverbs. But this is the TikTok I'm referring to.
Mestizos, man. Ooh. Stop calling yourself Latinos and Hispanics. That's not what y'all are, man. Y'all mestizos, man. Look up the history, man. If you
And to a certain extent, Jake is right. But you're not mestizos either. You're an Israelite. And somebody said it in the comment. We really Israelites for real. And I gave it a heart because it's true.
if you're Latino, you're oppressed, man. And if you're Hispanic, well, you're owned by the Spaniards, man. Do your history.
Wait, so what am I? Indian?
Yeah. Mestizo, man.
No. Wait, what? Mestizo? What's going on?
All Americas, man. We're from the same root, just different branches.
Palabra. Gracias por sus palabras.
Very warm. You are an Israelite. Again, Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. So going to Deuteronomy 28:15 down to the end of the chapter, these are the curses that will come upon thee and shall pursue thee. So whether you're in East Africa or East Cleveland, if you are an Israelite, guess what? These curses will pursue thee. That's why we're in a lower state right now. Even the Israelite foreigners, the people who look like the other nations. But your lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You identify with the Bible through the curses. Verse 46 is the point, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. So when you drive past a building with big golden arches, you know it's McDonald's, because that is a sign. In addition to the letters that spell it out, when you see that octagon, it's red with white letters and a white border, and it says stop, you know what to do, because that is a sign, an indication. That's what the curses are for the Israelites. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So we're going to continue to be cursed and going by these bywords and stereotyped by the proverbs until Yahushua comes back and we are redeemed from these chains of darkness, and until he takes these curses up off of us. So there's some research. Good old chat. What is a mestizo? Mestizo is a term used to describe a person of mixed ancestry, specifically someone with both indigenous, Native American, which would be Gad, and European, usually Spanish or Portuguese. So going back to what he said about those other nations conquer.
No. Wait, what?
Mestizo.
What's going on?
All Americas, man. We're from the same root, just different branches. If you're Hispanic, well, you're owned by the Spaniards, man. Do your history.
Oh.
The Spaniards were Spanish-speaking Edomites. No such thing as a damn Spaniard. You're either an Israelite or you're one of the other 17 nations. Do more research, look up the Genesis 10 breakdown. But point being, that's why the Lord is going to have to come back and separate the wheat from the tares. I think about examples like this and in chattel slavery, when Judah, the southern kingdom, was in captivity, and the women were being raped by their slave masters. Just chocolate-covered Edomites, and through the mingling of seeds, you are whatever your father is. So it don't care if you black as Wesley Snipes. If your father is an Edomite, then guess what? You're an Edomite. But point being, these proverbs and bywords mean nothing. And we identify through the curses. We identify with the Bible through the curses. And ultimately the spirit of prophecy. This is Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 16. It says, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and the children, and for the children of Israel's companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions. So going back to the top. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. So going to that word stick, and we're going to go into what it means about Judah and about Israel and companions. The word stick, 86086, wood, stock, plank. And that plank is what the 12 tribe sign is on. This is what we put on that plank. So you can look at it and see, oh, I'm not a Negro, I'm Judah. Or I'm not a Mexican, I'm Issachar. So for Judah, the head tribe, and for the children of Israel's companions, so Judah, we refer to Judah as Judah, the head tribe in the southern kingdom, Benjamin and Levi. And then for Joseph, Joseph and Ephraim are interchangeable. You go back and read in Genesis, Ephraim and Manasseh were Joseph's grandsons. But the lot fell on Ephraim, ultimately to be the head of the northern kingdom. And for all the house of Israel's companions. So Ephraim represents the northern kingdom and all the other northern kingdom tribes. would be his companions. So that's why we have to come back to our heritage. People think they on the level, ooh, I'm woke, mosquitoes. You are an Israelite. All basic scriptures, back to the basics. Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. So it's because we keep calling ourselves the bywords and proverbs, and it's very, very late in the game. The prophets are out here. I was just doing this lesson just because it so happened to come across my feed, but it's 2026. Jake know better. Jake done came across the Israelites one way or another. But again, this is the will of the Lord. Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. So what does it mean to be discontinued? You're no longer going to have it. Just like when something's on the shelves at the store and it's discontinued, that means it's no longer available. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So us serving enemies in the land we know not, that's here in the Americas. And again, do your research about how the Northern Kingdom even got over here. And that First Kings got to go into the Apocrypha. That's another lesson for another day. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger. So the same reason that the Lord put these curses on us. Because he's angry. We serve other gods. That's why we're ultimately discontinued from our heritage. But through grace, we're being brought back into the fold. We're being returned back to a pure language. We're understanding our identity. And during this grace period provided through the blood of our big brother, Yahushua HaMashiach, we're getting our minds right. We're repenting. And things are being stirred up by a pure way of remembrance. We're being quickened through that faith in Yahushua and works. And we're doing these things in captivity still. But it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah that we're in this captivity and we can still call on the names and we're still eligible for salvation from the things to come. The peak of Jacob's trouble, the Edomites, particularly Esau's army, his military, and his police force, coming down with great wrath and forcing the sea hip and other things associated with the image of the beast and this beast system, and ultimately being saved from the missiles. This is what we do to make our call and election sure. We teach and we live the things that we teach to the best of our ability. So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. I brought this on until next time. Shalom.